suggestion that he is not the world's ultimate victim. The entire room scrambles to reassure and soothe him like a spoiled toddler.
The shit he said and posted about Frogan over the past years is like insanely nasty.
Yeah.
Worse than anyone I've seen. If this is true, absolutely mind-blowing, insane.
Hold on. It's not worse than anything you've seen.
He was unbanned after 48 hours.
How could it be worse
apparently.
than anything you've seen?
Worse than... Okay, literally no. I guess
he was
not.
very nasty. Well, I'm just saying, people like want to like lay down and like.
I'm talking about specifically against Frogan.
But like he called her fat, right, and ugly, which is horrifically mean. I get called a baby killer.
I was talking specifically about
that's way
Frogan.
worse.
How could you say that? How could you say that what Frogan experienced is way worse than what I experience on a daily basis? Make sure this guy's aware he's coming on your show, not the other way around. You're the one with emotion, no charitability, no gloves. Let him have it. Hold him to account. I mean, I don't really care about the petty shit. I just want to have this conversation. And more importantly, I want his audience to actually hear the truth. That is what I care about. Ironically enough, he believes that that's what he wants to do as well, to have my audience hear the truth about the dangerous nature, not realizing that my audience probably thinks I'm not radical enough, you know? half of this community thinks I'm a for not running around constantly and just like, I don't know, flying the banners, okay? So I don't know why he thinks that, I don't know why he legitimately and unironically thinks that like people are going to be like, wow, I can't believe Hasan offered analysis and context to why resistance militancy exists against an apartheid regime that is doing genocide and blowing the shit out of every neighboring country. I can't believe he said that. Oh no, the horror. Like, does he not realize that these are my points that I've said on my stream with additional statements on top of that? I don't know why he thinks that my audience is going to be like, wow, this is a bridge too far. What's next? Are you going to say that you have Marxist-Leninist tendencies? How dare you?
Worse than being called fat and ugly, in my opinion.
Sure.
Not yelling at you. I am yelling at you.
I don't really understand what the point is that you're trying to make.
Because I get frustrated when everybody's like trying to defend her so much. It's like she's the ultimate victim of online harassment.
She is. She is an infinitely... She has been victimized in infinitely worse ways than Ethan could ever imagine. Ethan is so not victimized that he has to invent ways of being victimized to create drama surrounding it. And the reality is, when Ethan creates drama around his own personal victimization, people actually tune in. That actually works for him. Frogan, on the other hand, is constantly and consistently smeared by the most bad faith, most rabid, sociopathic figures online. Okay? God, it is so funny. It is so funny how like Israel coded this is, you know? Constantly on the defense, constantly self-victimizing, constantly escalating, and being an infinitely more powerful figure in the conflict. Like, obviously, there is a very different... There's obviously no moral equivalence between what Israel's doing, which is genocide, right? But like in terms of the propaganda aspect of it all, it just like it literally is the same that Israel does. So frustrating.
It's not.
It's like people are nasty to her.
I'm pointing out how weird it is for iDubbbz to reach out to him specifically. That's why I'm saying that.
Right.
I'm not comparing. It's in a vacuum.
iDubbbz to reach out to who? Tectone? I don't think iDubbbz reached out to Tectone. The f You should look into watching the Gaza Ghetto Uprising on stream. It was even made by a former Israeli. Yeah. Oh, God. Bro, wasn't it you who said platforming bigots is bad, yet you're letting Ethan farm you for views? Wait, I thought Hasan was upset. Isn't that what Ethan said last week? Bro, wasn't it you who said platforming bigots is bad? Yes, brother. There's a difference between platforming bigots and then also like having a conversation for clarity, having a conversation that creates clarity in the minds of people in his audience that are absolutely amenable to my position if they were to hear what I actually have to say. I would be truly shocked if his entire community is completely swapped into like drama slop tube alt-right adjacent commentary. I think there's a lot of girly pops that still watch Ethan and still see Ethan and Hila as their comfort characters, not realizing that like they have also fallen down this like weird pathway of radicalization in the opposite direction. And I think those people can actually be convinced. Those people can actually change their minds if they see the full picture. Anyway, I know what I'm doing. Please trust me. That's it. Nah, the girly pops are doing insane Islamophobia now. I know, but you know, I know what I'm doing. Let me do my thing, okay? How many years has it been at this point? Like, y'all have to trust me a little bit on this, right? You have to trust me a little bit, okay? You did the same thing with the Andrew Tate. You were like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. It's gonna be bad. And it was like, never mind. It was actually pretty good. I'm glad that it happened. And it's the same when I tell you, like, it's good if the Democratic Party actually turns around and starts criticizing this administration for its ridiculous deportation policies, because that will get the media to pay attention to it. And then inevitably, once a big fuss is created around it, like, people's positions will change. They are not firmly planted on the Trump fascist, white nativist, anti-immigrant agenda. They will recognize the cruelty of it, and they will turn around and say, all right, we don't want this anymore. And the polling will reflect that reality. And guess what? That is actually what happened at the end. That is literally what happened at the end of the day. We're experiencing it right now. Trump is underwater on every single issue, with the exception of the one issue where there's no counter narrative and no counter messaging happening, which is the trans stuff. And even then, he's only 51%. He's only a net 1 point positive rating on his only issue. Just trust me when I say, I know what I'm doing, okay? I got a method to all of this madness. Let me cook. I am nervous, Hasan, truthfully. Do you get nervous before debate? No, I don't. Why would I? This is not a thing to get nervous around. This is like me just being honest and truthful and speaking about my experiences.